What's up guys, it's Isaias from Tech Designs, and today I'm going to show you guys how to install the windshield protection film doing the bulk method. These are the tools you need for the installation. Before we start with the installation, you need to make sure to prep the windshield. One thing you can do beforehand is wash the vehicle. That way you help remove any contaminants that the windshield may have, and also that way your surrounding areas are clean and don't catch any contaminants on the film when you're doing the installation. If you don't have time to wash the vehicle, you could do another step, which is prepping just the windshield and just the surrounding areas. So I'm going to show you guys how to prep the windshield before we start with the installation, and also a quick tip I have for you guys if the windshield wipers are in the way. So for example, this vehicle, we're able to just lift the wipers up. That way we have freedom to install and prep the windshield. But with the windshield wipers, it's vehicle specific. For example, some of the vehicles like the Tesla, you may need to remove the windshield wipers in order to have full access to the entire windshield. So make sure you do your research beforehand in case you do need to remove the wipers to do the installation for the windshield protection film. So when it comes to prepping the windshield, all you're going to need is baby shampoo and water mixed together to create your slip solution. And you're also going to need a scrub pad. That way you help remove any contaminants that the windshield may have. Another thing you can use, just in case there is deep contaminants, like let's say tree sap or anything else that may be on the windshield, you could use a clay bar or a stainless steel razor blade. Just be careful if you do use a clay bar. Just inspect the windshield beforehand and make sure there's no small cracks already on the windshield, because let's say if you do use a clay bar and you're clay barring the whole entire windshield, some of the clay bar may get stuck on the cracks of the windshield and may cause some defects on the windshield film when you do the installation, and over time it's just going to damage it. So make sure beforehand, before you clay bar, if you clay bar, to check if there's any cracks, and if there is, just use a scrub pad to remove the contaminants. One thing you can do in case you're wondering if you still have any contaminants on the windshield is you can use your hand and just pass across the windshield. If you feel any rough parts on the windshield, that's probably where you may have some contaminants. So there's some here. Just use your scrub pad and now it's smooth. So you want to make sure the entire windshield is smooth without any contaminants or debris. So this section is good, and do the same for the other side. Okay, and then once you finish prepping the windshield, just grab a clean microfiber towel and just wipe off all the dirty soapy water. So once you finish wiping down the windshield, the next step is to apply slip solution once more. And now for this step, we're going to grab our squeegee and just start wiping down the solution from the windshield. And make sure as you're wiping the windshield, make sure to clean your squeegee as well. That way you don't bring any contaminants that the squeegee may catch on back to the windshield. One thing we do recommend when you're doing the installation for the windshield protection film is apply warm water inside your soapy solution. That way with the warm water, when you use it on the windshield, you're able to install the windshield without causing any damages to the glue. Because let's say if you do use just cold soapy solution, the cold water may affect the glue and it will cause installation problems when you're doing the installation. So make sure you add not hot water, but just warm water inside the mixture with the cold soapy solution. And then when it comes to installing the windshield protection film, we do recommend to have another person to help you, just to bring the film and place it to the windshield. You can do the installation by yourself, but you may encounter some difficulties. So we recommend just having a helping hand just to help you bring the film to the windshield. So once you have your warm slip solution, just spray it onto the windshield, and also spray the slip solution to the adhesive side of the film. So what we're going to do is just make sure we remove the backing paper from the protective film. Just slowly remove it. And we're only doing about halfway for right now. And we're just going to hold the film and apply our slip solution to the adhesive side of the film. And then from there, just remove the rest. And then just finish off applying slip solution to the bottom half. And just make sure the film isn't touching the ground. That way you don't catch any contaminants. Okay, and then we're just going to flip our hand, grab it on the other end, and bring it to the windshield. Make sure it doesn't touch the wipers. Okay, and when you're doing the installation for the windshield, make sure you're covering the bottom half first, and then the rest you can just place it on top. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
So just make sure the entire windshield is being covered on the bottom section. And because this one is a bulk method, we're just going to help spread the film, help remove any fingers that may come across, like for example these here. Just bring them down slowly, and then just do the same on the other end. In order to remove some of the fingers that you may come across, it's good to stretch the film and then just put a little bit of pressure on the film. That way you help remove the tension that you may have where the fingers are located. So before you squeegee the film, always apply slip solution on the top section of the film. That way our squeegee is able to glide and tack down the entire film. So when it comes to what squeegee you can use for the installation, you could use the squeegee that we have available on our website, or you can use a squeegee like this one. This one you can purchase it on Amazon for roughly around $9-10. With this one, since the squeegee is more harder, it helps with tacking down the film and also removing any bubbles on the windshield. So you could use this one as well. So I'll show you this one here. But you just need to be careful not to leave any bubbles on the windshield. So you're going to need to apply just a little bit more pressure. And then same with this one, you could use this one as well. Like I mentioned, make sure the surface area is wet. That way your squeegee is able to glide on the windshield. So like I mentioned, you could use either or. Just make sure with this one, you apply just a little bit more pressure. And then just finish off squeegeeing the other end. So one thing you can do in case you're having a hard time tacking down the film, since you do have a lot of excess material on some of the sections on the windshield, what you can do is just remove the material that you won't need. That way you're able to tack down the film and encounter less fingers. So now this section is sitting good. It's not lifting since we remove all that excess material. And you just go around checking anywhere else where the film is still lifting. This part you can remove just to make things easier, but the film is sitting perfectly, so it's not really an issue, but you can always remove it. And when you're removing the film, make sure you're removing it away from the windshield, because if you try to remove it and you're going to the direction where the windshield is located, you might tear the film and you're just going to damage this section of the windshield. So make sure to just tear it away. So once you finish squeegeeing the entire windshield, the next step is to make sure to remove all the excess material. So when you're doing the bulk method, you're going to make sure you try to trim off the excess material as close to the edge as possible to where the windshield ends. So depending on the vehicle, the windshield might be different. There's some windshields where the area of the glass is exposed and you're just able to enter your blade and just trim off the excess material. For example, this one, it has the rubber cover here. So in case your vehicle does come with this section covered and the windshield is not exposed, like for example, let's say like the Teslas, try to cut it as close to it as possible. That way you have full coverage all around the windshield. So a blade we do recommend to use, that way we prevent any scratches on the windshield, is a stainless steel blade. The stainless steel blade, you can still scratch the windshield, but it's less of a possibility that may occur as opposed as if you use a carbon blade. And make sure you just take your time when you're doing the trimming. So just remove it slowly. Make sure to tear away from the windshield and do the same here. Make sure you're tearing away from the windshield. And we stop there. That's where we finish our cut, and just remove the top section as well. And when it comes to trimming off the excess material on this area, you may not have enough room to glide your blade to remove the excess material. So we recommend starting from here. So start from the edge and just carefully glide it until you reach it to where you finish the other cut. And then just remove it. Leave it there. and then trim off the other side. So once you finish removing all the excess material, just spray slip solution once more and just help tack down the edges. That way the film doesn't lift over time. And one thing you can do in case you do encounter, let's say, small fingers like around the edges, is apply a little bit of heat. That way you help shrink those fingers and tack those fingers down. So when you finish squeegeeing the film, just apply a little bit of slip solution to the windshield, and with your heat gun, just apply heat all around the edges. That way we help secure the edges of the film. You could use the lowest setting or the highest setting on the heat gun. If you do use the highest setting, just make sure you're not too close to the film. That way you don't accidentally burn the film and burn the rubber. So once you finish with the entire installation, we do recommend to let the adhesive on the film cure for about 24 hours. One thing you can do to help the adhesive activate faster is you could turn on the defroster inside the vehicle. That way the heat touches the windshield and helps the adhesive activate faster. So then once you're done with the installation, just clean off the windshield. And when you clean it off, make sure to start from the center and work your way out. That way we don't accidentally catch the edges of the windshield and lift it in case we do start from the bottom and up. So start from the center and slowly just go down. That way we avoid catching the edges. And just do this all across the windshield. So once you finish with the installation, make sure if you did remove the windshield wipers to install them back on. But if you had them up, just place them back down. And then make sure, like I mentioned, make sure to let the adhesive on the film cure. So roughly wait about 24 hours. That way the adhesive is able to tack down to the windshield. And then this is the final result. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one. Pew, 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 pew. Oh, you're ready? Oh, damn, say something.